Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey with IGN Games up in San Francisco, joined by IGN Entertainment's Roth Cornett down in LA, and we're here together.
In San Francisco, where I came very early this morning for an exciting event.
Yeah, Xbox TV, as promised by Yusuf Mehdi on May 21st last year, when the Xbox One was first revealed.
And then we heard nothing for many months.
Yeah, caught a lot of crap from the internet. Then we forgot about TV for a while. Now TV's back.
Yes, in a big way.
Yeah, it is a real thing, and we've covered off on some other videos. We've covered off on Halo, on what the Halo TV situation is. We've covered off on some of the other potential first-party Microsoft games that could get the TV treatment. We've covered off on our concerns about what we're not sure what the hell's going on with regards to Xbox TV. Let's now go through the shows themselves. They sort of gave us a little preview, sneak peek of the slate.
Yeah, they showed some clips from each of the shows, except for a couple that haven't been shot yet, like the comedies. But let's go through them one by one. First, starting with the show that they are choosing to launch with.
Yeah, if you watched our concerns video, you already know what we're going to say, and that's a show called Every Street United, which you may have read about on IGN previously, and it turns out this is what is going to launch Xbox TV. It is out in June alongside the World Cup, and it is a sort of documentary thing about street soccer. Yeah. They've gone out and found the best street soccer players in the world and are assemble a 4-on-4 team, and they're gonna meet in it's 8 30-minute shows. There'll be a 60-minute finale where they bring them to Rio for the World Cup and have a street soccer world championship finale thing.
You are not sold on this show.
I'm not a soccer guy because I'm from America, I guess. I know I'm totally generalizing right now, but really, I don't get how this leads. I mean, I don't want to double up. We already covered off on this in another video, but this is the first show.
No, I think we can say again, in case you're just watching this, we think they need to lead with Halo. I think that's a very obvious assumption.
Or the next show we're going to talk about.
Right. Leading off with this, it's interesting because it's actually a very movie studio approach right now, which is to find the most global approach, right?
Yes.
Because that is where the money is. It's in worldwide box office sales. But what's interesting to me, so I think initially I thought, well, we're in so many countries, the Xbox is in so many countries, but your point with that is misunderstanding the audience. Yeah, the Xbox,
of course, we hear all the time, whether it's if you're a sports fan or if you're a game fan and you play FIFA, you know that, well, FIFA is bigger than Madden, it sells huge. The thing is, it does that internationally. It doesn't really, it sells well in the US, but soccer is such a global sport, and arguably it's one of its weakest territories is the US, and the Xbox itself, both the 360 and the Xbox One, the Xbox platform is such a North American brand. That is far and away its strongest territory, and we're really going to lead. We're going to kick off Xbox TV with a soccer show.
It's a very interesting approach because, again, it tells me that they're trying to reach a global market, which raises all kinds of questions for me about territories and the release strategy with territories. But I'm going to table those for now because I think it's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
I like soccer more than you do, so I think the show appealed to me personally more, but I do think you raise a very strong point about maybe not exactly understanding the right show to lead with for this audience. Let's talk about the next one.
Yeah, well, and this audience being the Xbox audience, Xbox gamers love first-person shooters, action games, and this next show, I think, suits that crowd a lot better. I think it was actually the most interesting thing that they showed. I mean, they didn't show us any Halo stuff because none of it's shot and ready yet. But of what we saw, I thought Fearless looked fantastic. It is a reality show with a gentleman named Paul de Gelder, who is an Australian, what their equivalent of a Navy SEAL, so a super heavily trained badass guy, who was maimed.
He was attacked by a shark.
Maimed by a shark, lost a hand and part of his leg, like his foot.
No, he lost. It looked like most
up to
of
the
his
knee,
leg,
right?
Yeah.
and he is you know, because of his training, he has rededicated himself and is just with prosthetics back out in the world, back out doing, nothing is stopping him. And he is now, the show is about, he is not just hosting it, he is an active participant in going out and chronicling the lives of men and women who risk their lives in their jobs on a daily basis. Yeah. So people like, you know, the firemen who like super badass firemen who like paratroop into a forest
fire.
Yeah, forest fire.
Or the Coast Guard when they do a rescue.
Yes.
It's going to culminate, it looks like, in an episode where he's going to face his own fears and swim with great white sharks. Now this show, I agree, absolutely the most compelling. It looked like it had the most promise. It looked like a show to me that I would think would do phenomenally well.
I wanted to watch this show.
Cable.
The teaser was enough. It sold me.
And this is what was very curious to me. I thought it would do really, really, really well on network TV.
Yes.
So I thought, this is a winner for you guys. But it was a pilot, meaning they hadn't bought off on it yet, which I found very odd. You know, like, this to me was like the most compelling piece of footage they had, and they weren't sold yet, which I'm not sure why. Maybe they're still in negotiations.
And yeah, what I extra loved about this is this show would be good enough if it were just him sort of chronicling the lives of these people, but he is going and it's sort of like they're little dirty jobs where he is actually going and participating in each new thing he's chronicling. So great stuff.
I feel like The Rock should co-host. I feel like that's the show.
That would be cool.
Pitching it now.
Bonnaroo. Microsoft has picked up the exclusive broadcast rights to the Bonnaroo Festival this year and will be airing it. It's June 12th to June 15th. The interesting thing here, this is about the only case where they did detail some interactivity. Yeah.
This felt like the best fit to me for this platform in the sense of they only have 2 stages, which is kind of a bummer.
Because Bonnaroo has a lot of stages, right?
Yeah, like if they had like 13 stages, this would be awesome because you could basically switch between the performances. You could VOD certain performances, select what you wanted to watch. You could basically like create your own festival virtually, which is really pretty cool.
Without having to be with a bunch of sweaty people that are gross.
Out, no porta potties. and then you could also, they have sort of at the end, you get to maybe participate in a Skype conversation with some of the artists.
Yep. Yeah, you can queue up. This is one of those cases where this would not be available on 360. This would be an Xbox One feature because Skype is, of course, baked into Xbox One. Yeah, you can queue up and potentially get a chance to live chat with one of the musical artists, either as they're before or after their performance. So, or of course, if you don't get in, which is 99% chance you won't, but you at least get to watch it.
Yeah.
And so, really neat element of interactivity there.
Yeah,
with
the only one that seemed really clear, everything else about interactivity was like, well, you can sort of chat with your community, very vague.
Yeah. Jash in the Box. Jash being, some of you may be familiar, that is the comedy troupe started by Sarah Silverman, Michael Cera, Tim and Eric, along with Reggie Watts. It's a sketch comedy show. It's not shot yet.
So we don't know if it's funny.
But it'll be, sketch comedy, little Saturday Night Live-ish in that there'll be a guest host each week that will bring their sort of brand of comedy to it. I mean, I love Sarah Silverman. I mean, I think she's one of the best stand-ups out there. Michael Cera's great. I don't know Reggie Watts very well, and I know Tim and Eric are very popular. I'm not too familiar with them myself.
I think this is a show that could lend itself, I think, to this audience in a big way. What they're trying to do is a little bit like what Chris Hardwick is doing on At Midnight, which is a little bit trying to introduce people
Comedy
to
Central.
Trying to introduce people to lesser-known comics. It could work, but we don't know. We haven't seen it.
And then from Stupid Buddies, Buddy Studios rather, from the Robot Chicken guys, a show called Extraordinary Believers, which is, tell me what soft scripted means, because that's a TV term.
So basically this is the idea. Soft scripted would be like Bad Grandpa, where I am playing a character, I am going in with a plan, I have a scenario that I'm going to play out, but your reaction to that is real.
Okay, so they showed a clip. It's some of the man on the street stuff in Southern California.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting setup where it feels very Adult Swimmy to me. I don't know how long the episodes are going to be. I don't think they should be longer than about 10 minutes. But it's basically these guys who are from medieval times that are here in the U.S. and they go and they do crazy stuff. But they're then animated.
Yeah, they're digitally animated after the fact to sort of look like their character. So it adds of the visual comedy, the visual humor to it. That could work. I mean, it seemed like it's all about the material. I mean, if the material's good, that could work. Humans, which we've heard about recently on IGN, if you're a loyal IGN reader, due out May 2015. It'll be 8 one-hour episodes. It's being adapted from the Swedish show of almost the same name right now, where it is. What was it about again?
I mean, essentially, it's basic sci-fi tropes. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
It's like human beings have created robots. There are servants. This is the little twist: is that a man comes in and sort of like gives them. It looks like he hacks them and allows them to be self-aware.
Right.
It's the singularity, rebellion, chaos, war. I haven't seen the series, but these are the things that I'm guessing happens. Hey, listen, I love sci-fi. I will watch anything about AI and the idea of what is it to be human.
Yeah. Well, at least we know it can't possibly be longer than Steven Spielberg's AI. God, that movie was long. I thought it ended 3 times. Didn't actually end, kept going. And then we covered off on the Halos in another piece. And then just to wrap up, they also said, well, we've optioned a few things that we may or may not make. Popular stuff like a book, Winter by Chuck Dixon, a Gun Machine by Warren Ellis, and a graphic novel called Deadlands.
Yeah.
Which are like, well, we optioned these, maybe we'll make them, maybe we won't.
Which maybe you have favorites that you would like to see that you can let us know about in the comments. For now, we'll just sort of comment a little bit more on those once they decide to move forward. And I'm hoping to see a little more clarity in the coming months about the approach and things like that. But they've got the potential for gold on their hands.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they do with it.
There's a lot to like. There's a lot to like for sure. We'll be on top of all of it, both down in LA on the entertainment side and up here in San Francisco on the game side. For more on all things Xbox TV, you're already in the right place, right here at IGN.